is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That was Nashville Pussy with a tune called Rub It to Death from the brand new record, Up the Dosage. And on the phone right now, we've got the guitarist and the legend herself from Nashville Pussy, the one and only Ruyter Suys. Ruyter, how are you?
It's going great. How the hell are you?
I am awesome. Well, Ruyter, I got to say right off the top, this record, Up the Dosage, the most diverse and the most, I don't want to say different because that'll probably lead people the wrong way, but it definitely has the most turns of any record you guys have put out to date. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Well,
I'm glad you played Rub It to Death. I'm totally impressed.
Well, I'm a Motorhead guy, so I sort of caught the sort of imagery from the Motorhead influence, we'll say. So
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, I guess a good place to start, Ruyter, is maybe just have you catch everybody up on what's going on with the band and, you know, what's going on in the world of Nashville Pussy.
Well, right now, I guess we're gearing up for our big European tours. This record's coming out in like a week, 2 weeks, something like that. Okay. It comes out on the 20th. And we're going to be going to Europe we're doing Spain, Portugal, France, Switzerland, and Italy. And then we come home for a little break, then we go back and we do all the northern countries. And we come home for a little break, and we go to Australia. Come home for a little break, you know, that kind of thing.
Sure.
We're on tour for a while.
And that's always you guys' way, isn't it? You guys kind of stay on tour once you get out there, don't you?
Pretty well. I don't know. We're trying to learn how to take it a little easier now, but you know, still, yeah, it's hard to fight because the fans want us so bad.
Sure.
We just got back from Brazil like before Christmas, so we had a nice little break.
That's
after
cool.
A little Brazilian sojourn, which was wonderful.
Sure. Well, let me ask you, you know, as far as being a touring band as much as you guys are, you guys clearly tour the States and you tour Europe and, you know, abroad quite a bit. You know, what are the differences between the two, I'll call them two territories. I know there's more, but, you know, what is the difference, I guess, between touring here versus touring there?
It's better over there.
Okay.
I don't know, man. There's like it just seems like a bigger appreciation of rock and roll over in Europe in general. You know, there are kind of traditionally always has been, like, you know, how the French took jazz and blues before anyone else did. You know, it was, even though it was an American movement, unique to America, like jazz. You know, jazz musicians here were kind of treated pretty crappily, and when they went to France, and they had rolled out the red carpet.
Right.
Like, you know, artists like Miles Davis and stuff would have to go through the back door in America, and there they'd be greeted by the Queen. And, like, I don't know, it's kind of like there's a greater appreciation of Americana in places other than America.
Right. What do you think?
And we fall into that kind of category.
Sure.
And we're an American band, so.
Sure. Now, what do you think it is about especially Europe, I guess, that they just seem to not trend jump like everybody does here in the States? It just seems like, you know, the minute the radio tells somebody that this is the cool thing, well, then you're listening to hip-hop metal or, you know, emo core or whatever. You know, why do you think that Europe...
They've got that, too. You know, that exists as well. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's lack of... Maybe it's because they don't have as many television channels. I don't know.
Could very
I don't know
well
what
be.
does it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, Ruyter, Up the Dosage, you know, as we stated, it's definitely Nashville Pussy. There's no mistaking it for anything else. But there are some interesting turns and twists with it. For one thing, I understand you guys wrote with Eddie Spaghetti from the Super Suckers. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, he did the whole pre-production with us, so he helped us mold, like, the majority of these songs before we went into the studio. It was really cool.
Very cool. And for you guys, was it kind of the same formula that you've been following with you know, you and Blaine kind of writing a lot of stuff? And
well, it's mostly like Blaine comes up with riffs, I come up with riffs, and then we finally, when they're close to being ready, we bring them in to Jeremy. You know, we don't bother him with stuff that's, like, you know, half-baked, but we'll bring things in when they're, like, a quarter-baked. And then as soon as all three of us are in a room together, it changes the direction, like, immediately. Like, we start getting a hold of where the song is going, and adding Eddie into the mix was great. He was just like a babysitter kind of. He made us actually work, which is like, sometimes when you get me, Blaine, and Jeremy in a room together, we just go for pizza and beer.
Right,
we
sure.
Decided to go drinking instead. So this time we had Eddie, who's, he does this for a living.
Right. Nice.
He's got kids and stuff. He's got to go home. Right. We just do this for life. So he's like, get to work.
Right. He's the responsible one.
Yes, he was. He was the professional. It was pretty funny.
Nice.
So he actually made us fucking work. Like, we were in there for, I don't know how, I think we banged the shit out in like maybe 10 days. Like, it was actually really fast.
Okay.
Like, writing everything. But, it had all been brewing for 5 years. So, we had collections. We do this thing called riff farming, where we go back into like all our old cassette tapes. And like, now that we all have iPhones, everyone's got voice memos that we record little bits of stuff at sound checks and sitting around the house and what have you. If you just go back into your phones or your tapes or whatever and you find riffs.
Okay.
And like try to find something that's got, it's got a little meat to it. And like, oh yeah, this one thing is great. Like Rub It to Death was originally, I wrote that on keyboards.
Okay.
And it was started off as kind of like a Deep Purple song, like years ago.
Sure.
Totally sounded like a Deep Purple song. And then I tried it on guitar, and I was like, oh, shit. This has got balls, man. It's like,
right.
Okay. So we ran with that, and, like, got a song.
Is it difficult to do that, though? Because, I write more than I do any kind of musical stuff, but I know for me, when I write stuff, if I go back and read it 3 months later, I generally hate it. Is it the same way with riffs and stuff, where you go back and you're like, oh, what was I thinking?
I don't know. I mean, like, I have a tendency to put anything down that I know I'm going to lose.
Okay.
And so, like, I'll go through stuff. I mean, I've got, like, I've got 600 voice memos on my phone. And, like, 99 of them is the same one.
Oh, nice.
But I don't know it. Like, oh, I'm writing the same one over and over again.
Sure.
But then one of them will just stand out. And, like, that'll be a song. And, like, same way with Blaine. Like, he does the same thing. I'm like, I don't know. I have a tendency to go back and go, damn, was that me? Pretty good.
That's awesome. Well, Ruyter, let me ask you. You guys obviously, since you guys came out in the mid '90s, you've done one thing. You've been kind of a considered sleaze rock and roll band. And when you started, I remember when the band first came up, everybody was just appalled that it had the name Pussy in the band and there was chicks in the band, and how dare you guys do something that was so raw like that. Have you seen that uptightness kind of ease up as time has gone by?
Well, yes and no. It's like now, for our band, we're just another rock band now. And I think that's kind of that might give us an advantage with this record, that people have heard the name and now they're no longer scared, and now we can just approach the world as a rock band, which is kind of what we wanted to do to start with.
Sure.
Like, we didn't set out to go like, fuck you. Well, we kind of did, but it was like, we didn't think we were going to offend. Like, I really didn't think that we were going to be considered offensive. I thought we were just going to be another rock band.
Right.
But instead we got like all this attention for being shocking and for being chicks and for being whatever, like, and it was like, kind of like, I don't know, kind of took the music out of it and turned us into more of a spectacle. And whereas we're the same musicians we've always been. And it's
right.
Like, once you get past the pit, you realize that we're actually, it's a good rock band. But
right.
You got to get past that. And I think America especially is overwhelmed by that kind of shit. Like, because we're such prudes here, that it's like all we can see is like tits, and all we hear is pussy, and like, fine, that'll bring you in the door, but you got to have the music to back it up too, to make them stay.
Sure, definitely.
So I'm hoping now people have chilled out a little bit, but it's like, it seems like everyone's just as uptight as ever as far as like, saying pussy on the radio, or I see like our name is written with $signs sometime, which is fine. I'll take that over bleeping it out. Half the time they won't put our name on the marquee, shit like that. And then you go to Europe and, we're on the cover of a magazine, or we're on an afternoon television program. And it's like, okay, well, this is more like it. Now we get, it's a level playing field here.
Right.
Whereas here it's like we're some kind of dirty secret, which is cool too. I don't mind being a dirty secret, but I'd rather be able to compete on the same level as everybody else, like be played on the radio. That'd be nice, occasionally.
Definitely. Well, you spoke of the musicianship, and I'll point specifically at you. It just seems like your guitar playing over the years has definitely grown. It just seems like there's almost like a tightness that's formed. When you guys first started, it was I'll call it bar rock and not
sloppy.
Well, that's it. It wasn't. I wasn't saying bar rock as a bad thing, but it was definitely 3 shots of whiskey and go, type of a
The
sound.
irony was, I don't think I was even drinking then.
Oh, nice. So the drinking made you better, is what you're saying.
I think the drinking has made me better, because I definitely do 3 shots of whiskey before I hit the stage.
Nice. Do you see your guitar playing, though, as becoming tighter and better over the years?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, that's all that is just, you just keep playing. Like, it's definitely developed. It's developed more into the way that I want it to be. I've always wanted it to be, like, because I've always been like a blues player, and I think it's really obvious now.
Right.
Finally.
Definitely. Well, let me ask you kind of an oddball question, and this is just one. It's more a curiosity question than anything. No secret that you and Blaine are married and together. Has that over the years, I know you guys party, you definitely party, but has the fact that you guys are a couple taken away from the quote-unquote rock and roll lifestyle for you guys? Especially since you guys have been such a band that's, all the lyrics are about chasing pussy and partying. Has it taken away from doing that, more or less?
I don't know. Maybe a little bit, but not a lot.
Okay.
It's if anything, it saved me from a bunch of shit, from getting into like Coyote Ugly situations.
Nice.
But no, I don't think it's really hampered our sex, drugs, and rock and roll, to say the least. If anything, it's probably protected us against such a bad situation. So
Sure.
we still managed to get into trouble.
Right. Definitely. Well, Ruyter, let me ask you, one of the things that you guys did, a year and a half ago or so, was you re-released From Hell to Texas, and did a remaster and added some more live tracks to it. Why did you guys decide to remaster that, like 3 years after it was put out?
Well, we wanted to do it before then. It just took us that long. And then when we decided to package it with a live album, it took us even longer. But when it initially came out, we recorded that album at Willie Nelson's.
Okay.
And it's a really hard studio to get into as far as time and stuff. And we were trying to remix it there, and it was impossible. And when we actually did the final mix on it, it had been 3 months since we actually recorded the album. Like, we had to wait to get back in to do the final mix when we originally released it. And our final mix was it was good, but it wasn't as where we wanted it. We wanted a little more, but it was too late. So it was released.
Okay.
And we really liked it, but we had we developed this relationship with Nitrosonic Studios, where we've recorded 9 Pound Hammer, we've recorded Blaine's other band, Kentucky Bridge Burners, and we've done some little side projects there. And they're it's kind of like Nashville Pussy Studio in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
And we keep all of our collection of gear there. So if anyone records at Nitrosonic, they're playing on our shit. I've got my keyboard collection there. I've got we've got all sorts of guitars and amps and pedals and just everything that we've collected that used to be in our dining room and the end table in our bedroom and stuff like that is now, all those amps and shit like that are at Nitrosonic. And so we were so familiar with that studio, and Brian said, we can remaster it here, we can remix it here. Okay. And so we started doing it just kind of on our own to see if, in our spare time, to see if we liked it. And it was shit, we got to do this whole album. We got to redo the album.
Nice.
And then we'd come back with, 70 hours worth of live material from Europe, and decided to do a live release, a full album of, our live show. Okay. And that was really fun. We did that at Nitrosonic too. So we had to wade through, performance after performance and picking out all the best songs and, when make sure that all the mics were working at the same time, and decided to release that at the same time as the remix.
Okay.
And that's it. It was just basically we knew we could do better on that first release, and we had the opportunity and we went with it. And it was another chance to be in the studio. We love being in the studio, so sure. Even if it is tweaking old shit, it's still fun.
Sure. Very cool. Well, I read that you guys recently worked with Lemmy. What happened there?
Recently worked with Lemmy? Where did that come from?
Your blog? Maybe it wasn't that recently.
No, I'm sure it wasn't that recently. I don't know. He sang on Lazy Jesus.
Okay.
But he sang it over the phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was supposed to be the voice of God, because it's Lemmy,
Oh, nice.
And so he was telling his son Jesus that, he better shape up. When we released, the re-release of From Hell to Texas has Lemmy's voice on Lazy Jesus. The original does not.
Okay.
So if you listen very closely, you can hear Lemmy's slurred words in the background.
Nice.
But we're like, Lemmy is a close friend, so we quote unquote work with him often.
No, that's awesome. Very cool. Well, let me ask. Let me go for story time for a minute, just because I have to imagine there's a good one here. Tell me the story of the most ridiculous fan trying to hit on you at a gig.
Oh God! Oh man! What kind of question is that?
One of those that I know has a goofball answer.
Oh God! I'm just trying to think. Oh, there's just so many. I don't know, man. Most fans are pretty straightforward with, just give me a shot of whiskey. And hoping.
Right.
But I can't really, off the top of my head, I can't think of like the dumbest thing that somebody might have done.
You've never had I'm a big producer guy and I'm going to get you on the next label and blah, blah, blah thing?
Oh, I've had it all, but not a lot. I've got a really good filter system. I generally can see bullshit about 10 feet away. Right. I'll just take the whiskey. I'll take the whiskey and walk.
Right. Very cool. Well, Ruyter, what's on tap for 2014? I know you guys are scheduled to be touring quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I mean it's tour, and then we're gonna take our downtime. It's gonna be hopefully party, beaches. That's the goal. That's my goal. A lot of beaches.
Nice.
To make up for the lack of beaches that we're gonna be experiencing in Europe in January and February. So to try and balance my life between the tour bus and a beach.
Sure. Very nice. Well, Ruyter, the new record, as we said, it's called Up the Dosage. When is it out? Is it out now or in a couple of weeks?
I think it's officially out on the 20th, but it's pre-order on Amazon and stuff like that right now.
Okay. Excellent. And where can
also because this is like internet radio.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is allowed, but I want to plug, Blaine and I have a radio station.
Plug it all. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's called Slinging Pig. It's SLINGPIG radio, and it's fucking fantastic. And if you have you don't have to be a Nashville Pussy fan. It's like a rock and roll country soul station. It's basically our record collection.
Okay.
And so if you want to know what it sounds like to be at a Nashville at a party at our house,
right?
It's a great radio station,
awesome.
And Blaine has always been interested in controlling the musical environment wherever he goes. So he's managed to accomplish it now on a massive level. And it's you can get a mobile app for it and stuff like that. And it's actually really cool. He does a drunken podcast, which is pretty cool. It's just him and a bottle of whiskey and,
nice.
And a bunch of records. It's great. And for some reason it's kind of taken off. And we've got this little record label, Slinging Pig Records. So it came from there.
Okay.
That was the beginning. And, we put out, our record label puts out basically stuff that we're on. We put out Nine Pound Hammer, Kentucky Bridge Burners, that metal band I'm in called Big Delicious and the Tasty Testicles,
right.
and then we've done some a couple of live Nashville Pussy releases that have come out on Slinging Pig, and so then we just went from there to the radio station. And so I encourage everybody to please listen to it. It's a kick.
Excellent. Well, we'll definitely push people to that. And what is the website for Nashville Pussy itself?
It's just NashvillePussy.com.
Excellent. All right, Ruyter. Well, before I let you go, I have to ask you the traditional classic metal show question. We ask everybody this, and I already know that you have an answer to this, since we talked about him already. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
How has he influenced? Well, Lemmy, besides being he was a god to me in high school, and it definitely was always a goal to at least meet the guy maybe. And we were definitely astounded to be playing with him not once, not twice, but over the course of 14 years, number of times. We've done so many Motorhead tours, and Lemmy is not only is he God, but he taught us how to drink. He taught us how to party, and also party as hard as you rock. He never lets one get in the way of the other, right. And he really schooled us on the road, and it was like the weirdest, going on tour with him the first time was one of the weirdest experiences in my life, just in that, for some strange reason, we left that tour being able to hold more liquor, be able to play more hungover, and still somehow our IQs went up. we walked away with a knowledge of English history that I had no idea that I would be knowing, and grammar and stuff like that. But
nice.
They're a smart bunch of people, and they're beautiful people to hang out with. So it's true. Let me use God.
Awesome. Well, all right, Ruyter. Well, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track. So why don't you pick something from Up the Dosage and tell us a little story about it to end the interview.
Let's see, which song? Oh, play Taking It Easy.
All right.
It's 47 seconds long. It's great. It's me singing.
All right.
From everyone's favorite cartoon, Metalocalypse. So.
Oh, nice. Well, let's do that right now then. Let's play Taking It Easy. This is Nashville Pussy, and it is your classic metal show.